everyone. I'm Dear Myrtle, your friend in genealogy, but you know that this channel's all about making mini journals to tell one ancestral story at a time. It might be that I share an anecdote, a memory, the story behind a family heirloom, anything to intrigue my grandchildren in their family history. So recently over on Mert's Journal on Facebook, which is just a Facebook page, uh, people have been asking me, where do I get my papers and ideas for things? It's really two different questions. Paper is one thing, the ideas for what to do with the papers is another thing. So I want to show you a couple of interesting books that I have in my collection, and we're going to go from there. Now, this particular book is called Swatches, and it has numerous cool, sometimes wacky, um, samples of different kinds of paper. Now, these are copyrighted materials because they are compiled in this book. Um, Unlike something like the William Morris prints I've used in the past that are available freely on the web. But I find it inspiring to read books like this and to have them to think of different color combinations. Like I rarely think of yellows and oranges. I'm more of a turquoise, aqua, into the lavenders type person. But that's an inspiring thing. If I know that my artifact that I'm sharing has this color scheme, I might then begin to break out of my comfort zone and look at things. This reminds me of Zen tangling, doesn't it, you as well? Okay, now I'm super, super zoomed in. This particular book intrigued me because it said it had 100 plus bindings, handmade books. I'm going to flip through this just real quickly to show you that they will take an example and then give you step by step. So you'll have like a photo of a particular kind of a book or booklet or mini journal, etc. And maybe next year when I have 52 things under my belt, I might try some of these. Well, maybe I won't wait till then. This is my recent acquisition, and I'm going to try to move out. We can do that. We're capable. Okay. Remarkable Diaries. And it actually has a timeline element to it. So I'm intrigued by, Lewis and Clark had a diary where the botanist in the group would keep track of new kinds of uh, herbs and flowers and trees, and even things as far as new kinds of animals, etc., that they didn't see in their heretofore settled American colonies and American states. Now, I've looked at a lot of old books myself because, oh, don't you just love this marbling? Because I find it interesting how people journal, and old books intrigue me. They're here by time period. This is 1860 to 1880, and it has to do with Henry David Thoreau um, on, um, yes, all kinds of interesting things. Man, I can't even speak today. Let's go for it. Before that, we had John Ruskin. Who knew John Ruskin? The other kinds of earlier time period things, here's Lewis and Clark, the explorers, including mapping out things. There's different reasons for creating journals than what I'm thinking of. And also, this lettering is even inspiring to me. So, oh, here's Mozart's. Of course, this would have uh, journaling about various sections. That's 4 sharps. I couldn't do that. Ugh. I guess I could. I'd have to practice. Anyway, the Voyages of Captain Cook. So you see, it goes back in history. What a journaling page. with interesting lettering. A perfectly drawn circle, you had to have some kind of a protractor or compass, rather. And sketching out what it looked like, the imagined view of the experiment, as the ship was tossed about in a storm and um, the mast was cracked. Oh, I don't know. Just all kinds of things. Of course, the oldest ones would be Chinese that have survived. Quite sure. Oh, yeah, Leonardo da Vinci's very famous things. Now, if I looked at these not in a book, then I would be comfortable using Leonardo da Vinci's or uh, anything from the Lewis and Clark expedition to illustrate. So these are inspiring. These something I keep on the table by my recliner in the family room upstairs so that I can just flip through it and think of different ways of presenting information on the page. Really, recently, I have acquired some old books that have to do with things I can actually use and incorporate them into my journals. This one is from 1913, and it's a Watkins Almanac, Home Doctoring and Cookbook. Interesting little concepts here. And because it's pre-1926 relative to our current date now in 2021, I could use this freely. I could photocopy the whole thing, scan it to distribute it. It's out of copyright. You never know when you need a cow to illustrate a point in your family history journal. This was a great find. This book is under copyright still because it was published in 1977. Okay. But anything by Edith Holden, Holden, is considered golden in the world of junk journaling because she was quite an artist. These are her paintings that have been incorporated with text. I mean, just even these little embellishments across the bottom would look cute on a journaling tag. Now, what can I do with this since it's under copyright? I could use this in a personal journal, but I could not scan it or copy it to send to someone else because it's under copyright and it would harm the sale of the book. Now, why did I use this book and why am I dealing with it? Well, notice that most of the signatures have been pulled out, which means this book is coming apart. So it doesn't matter if I cut things out. I mean, if I need that for a journaling page, I'm going for it. Okay. But I'm not selling these images wholesale as if they were my own in a scanned image format. And those kinds of things are sticky wickets. And keep in mind that I live in the United States, so copyright and fair use may be very different in your neck of the woods. So as we go forward, you will notice that I'm doing different things like tuck spots with these particular elements and others that I've collected, or journaling cards, or foldouts, etc. And that's the fun of belonging to junk journaling pages, or groups on Facebook, follow people on Instagram, etc., because they may come out with a different way to do something than you had ever possibly considered. All right, folks. I'm Dear Myrtle, your friend in genealogy. If you find this channel useful, please subscribe and then let me know what projects you are working on. Happy family tree climbing, everybody, and journaling. That's a wrap.